It's Coach Carter. Today's Thursday. The success of this, and I'm kind of surprised, but so many of you guys have stopped by and said, hey, Coach, those things are awesome. So I've talked to Miss Simrow, I've talked to Coach Mann and several other people, so I think we're going to try to make this a daily thing. But the first thing we got to do is come up with a name. So the first thing, I think, I got two ideas. My idea was Coffee with Coach, but Coach Mann gave me a better one. I think he said AM with the AD. So I kind of like that one too. So y'all let me know what you want to name it. But another thing I'll try to do is every day before I leave to come to Woodmont, no later than 8 o'clock, I'll try to have this out and put it out because I want you to start your day on the right foot, okay? But today, if you remember last time we talked about, or day one, we talked about your attitude and your effort. Well, today we're going to specifically talk about your effort, and that's one of the two things you control every day. And now I want you to think about when people ask me, what is the biggest difference between kids today and kids 20 years ago when I started this, my answer is very straightforward. Kids today are only concerned with their rights and their privileges. 20 years ago, kids were more concerned with their responsibilities and their obligations. Think about your last name. Think about maybe you have a relationship with your grandparents. Think about your parents' grandparents. Think about all the sweat equity they have put into your last name, and would they be happy or sad with the care that you've been, the opportunity and the care that you've given that name that they worked so hard to create. Now they pass the torch on to you. But you know, one of the things I've always said is more people fail because of lack of effort than lack of anything else. Lack of intelligence, lack of talent, lack of money, lack of education. Most people, when they fail, it's simply because they don't work hard enough. And in the entitled world we live in today, it's very rare to find kids your age that are willing to put in the time, that are willing to put in the effort, that are willing to do more than what's expected. So many of you guys go to your classrooms every day and you only do the bare minimum. You do just enough to get by. You do just enough to keep your parents off your back. But as you grow up, you'll see the part of the maturity process. You start making better decisions, not because you're afraid of getting caught, but because you're afraid of letting the people who care about you the most down, and that would be your parents. That's when you finally start figuring it out. But so many times, it's just simply a lack of effort. And so I want to talk to you today. You see this word? This is ordinary. By definition, what do you think about when you see the word ordinary? Ordinary means vanilla. It means common. It means nothing special. And today, most of the high school kids that we have across the country, they're perfectly fine with being ordinary. But in order to succeed, you got to do more than what's expected. You got to be willing every day to show up and give it your best effort. You got to be willing to show up and take the stairs every day instead of the elevator. I often heard a pretty neat phrase, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so you may have daunting tasks in front of you. You may have something that you think there's no possible way that I can get this done. It's hopeless. It ain't hopeless. You attack it, and you attack it every day, and you be consistent with your effort. You're not ordinary. You were made on purpose and for a purpose. And I hope that you realize that. No way in this world should you ever be satisfied with being ordinary. You should show up first. You should be the last one to leave. You should run 5 more sprints than your teammates. You should study 5 more minutes. And Lord have mercy, put your cell phone away. When you go to bed at night, go to sleep. Don't take your cell phone in there and Snapchat all night. I know some of y'all are doing that. I know you are. I got teenage boys too. But I hope that you realize now, look at this word. And notice the difference. When you add extra to ordinary, look at what you become. Are you willing to show up every day with a good attitude and do the best you can the first time you're asked to the best of your ability? See, some of you guys, when your parents ask you to do something, you think it's a suggestion. It ain't a suggestion. Do what you're told the first time. Say yes, ma'am. Say yes, sir. And do what you're told the first time to the best of your ability. That's what life's about. Nobody cares about you more than your parents. But you should never be satisfied with being ordinary. If you want changes in your life, if you want things to get better, something's got to change. You can't keep doing things the same old way that you've always done and expect to get different results. Each of you are extraordinary. When you apply yourself, when you do the best job that you can, and when you take pride in your work. Love you. Have a great Thursday.